The topic to be deals with the prohibition of making and producing pictures and images of living things, be it human or animals. And we see more and more pictures being published in magazines for distribution. Magazines that are supposed to be Islamic oriented. Magazines that are supposed to convey a religious message. It is becoming more and more prevalent. And no doubt in some of those magazines or flyers there are hadith prohibiting the production of pictures and images might be carried, leaving the readers to be confused. When we look at verse number 13 of Surah Sabah, that's chapter 34, we see that making and using pictures of living things were not declared haram in the Sharia of Prophet Sulaiman alayhi salatu wassalam. It was permissible and it was widely used. Pictures of animals and humans. And the verse I am referring to, يَعْمَلُونَ لَهُ مَا يَشَاءُ مِنْ مَحَارِيبٍ. You know, he had hostages. That was the Prophet who had command over the waves and the jinns. The jinns worked for him. And then you read the verse, يَعْمَلُونَ. They worked, they made, they pronoun refers to the jinns. They made for him مَا يَشَاءُ, whatever he wanted, in maharib, of castles, places of worship, with tamathil, pictures and images. The jinns were made to draw and produce all these for Prophet Sulaiman alayhi salatu wasalam. When you find they would make basins so big, Kal-Jawab, the Quran has in Kal-Jawab, they were big like water tanks. And such big pots that were fixed in their places. The pots were so huge, they were importable. But the jinns made them to settle and fix in their respective places. All these Prophet Solomon and the jinns made them. Among these were pictures. Then there is the historical narrative in which the presence of the pictures of birds upon the throne of Prophet Solomon were mentioned. So if Prophet Solomon was a messenger of Allah, Allah spoke to him and he received revelation, and on his throne there were pictures of birds, images of birds, then it's quite clear. It was permissible in the Sharia of Hazrat Sulaiman alayhi salatu wassalam. That was then. Friends, the pictures of people who made among the past communities to pay homage to them, especially those who were venerable, and they were people of luminaries. They were those who were very pious. Their pictures, it was a custom, were made. And then these pictures were carried to the places of worship to serve as reminders of their devotion in the hope that it may enable them also, enable them to be as devoted as the past people. But It did not work. How could that work when Iblis had promised long before to come to the children of Adam from in front, from the back, from the right, from the left, with that determination, and to sit upon the straight path and to take them away from Sirat al-Mustaqim. That method did not work. It did not make them become devoted as those who were before. But rather, what happened was that these people made these very pictures the objects of their worship and began worshipping idols and icons. This was the whisper of Shaitan. Do you not remember your dear ones, your loved ones, the pious ones who went before? You don't remember that they were so great? But then, make pictures of them so that you can remember them. They made pictures, they produced the pictures and put them in the place of worship. It was the whisper of Shaitan. Gradually, those very people started worshipping the pictures. That is where idol worship stemmed from. Initially, the intention was good, but these pictures and images became the conduit and the channel for idol worship. It is to be remembered that this Sharia, the Sharia of Islam, is indeed the final Sharia after which none will come. No prophet will come after the coming of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. It has to stay and survive right through the day of judgment. Therefore, this Sharia must eradicate every form of misguidance, and it has to block the intrusion of anything that is undesirable. The Prophet upon peace be said, I am the eradicator, eradicating everything that is untrue, removing everything that has doubt and is likely to affect the ibadah of the one Allah. He said, I have come to break the idols. You heard about Father Abraham taking the axe and breaking, hanging it upon the neck of the big one. Prophet Muhammad upon his very great grandson of his, he came, he said, I have come to break the idols and to stop the worshiping of these icons and pictures once and for all. Hence, the ways of sins and haram things have been made unlawful. Just the way they have been made unlawful, similarly their channels and their conduits have also been made unlawful by appending or attaching these to being sins and haram things. Of all sins, you ask any Makkah tribe, of all sins, which is the greatest of them all? Not sure? Ascribing partners to Allah? In one verse of the Quran we learn, indeed Allah forgives for every sin, but not the sin of shirk, ascribing partners unto Him. When this is forbidden to that extent, the law of Islam did not leave the ways and means that could smuggle idol worship into it when no one is paying attention. It happens very quietly when people do not realize it's happening. That is smuggling idol worship into the religion of Islam. The laws are ensured that such does not happen. Surely it was checked and arrested when the very making and producing of pictures and images were prohibited. If they do not exist, there is on the basis of very authentic ahadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. They're very authentic. And look what Allah has said. وَمَا آتَاكُمُ الرَّسُولُ, whatever the messenger has brought for you, فَخُذُوهُ, grasp it. Don't just receive it, don't just take it, grasp it tightly. وَمَا نَهَاكُمْ عَنْهُ, and whatever He has prohibited you from, فَانْتَهُوا, stay away from it. Similarly, when alcohol was made haram, also made haram was for buying, selling, transporting, storing, serving, brewing, having it brewed. All these factors were made haram when alcohol became haram. When theft was declared to be haram in Islam, the very entering into the premises of someone without permission became haram. And there is one thing, looking, staring into somebody's home, that also is declared forbidden. In hadith you will learn, if one goes peeping into someone's home, through a hole, you're peeping, stone comes flying to your eye, bursts in your eye, the Prophet of Islam, Rahmatul Alamin, says, you look for that. Why are you going peeping and spying when that is forbidden? Similarly, when Islam rejects to the utmost the worship of idols, pictures, statues, the very making and producing of these became haram. We must take this very seriously. For it is happening very quietly. No one speaks out against it. It is made to look beautiful. It is decorated. No one lifts a finger against it. It is generally accepted. People say, what is wrong with it? That's the problem. What is wrong with it? That is why we have to take heed. If it is said by anyone that the use of pictures during the blessed time of the Holy Prophet upon the beads would have become a source of idol worship because that is what people were accustomed doing. It came from their worshiping idols, and that was their habit. But in our time, in such times of advanced technology, knowledge and education is being imparted, pictures serve many purposes, such as establishing identity of criminals, advertising trademarks, investigating events, etc. So, maybe it can be included in one of the hawaij, or the necessities of life. In this, the apprehension of any idol worship is too far to conceive. As such, the prohibition which was made to offset the danger of idol worship should not be lifted. If someone thinks like that, the answer to this doubt is very simple. My friends, even though we are in a time of so much advanced literature, where people are alone, even today, there are so many people who worship idols. Genuinely, they worship idols, there is no doubt about it. And there are so many sects and groups who worship their fields. It happens, find out about it. In addition to all this, the sole reason for the prohibition of pictures is not that it is a conduit or a channel of idol worship. In fact, there are so many hadith in which other reasons have been mentioned. For example, picture making is a duplication of the special attributes that very special attribute of Allah which should belong to Him alone. You have come across the word Musawwir in the Quran in more than one place. He is Musawwir. The name Musawwir, the giver of form, shape, color, and real presence, is one of the most beautiful names of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And making of pictures, giving form and shape, is in reality befitting for Him alone. And it lies within His power to create among His creation thousands in terms of hairs, breeds, plus different kinds with millions and billions of living units. That is for Allah alone. Take the example of human beings. The shape and form of man is different. So is the shape and form of women. That's the greatness of Allah Ta'ala. There have been millions of individual men and women. None of them was absolutely like anyone else. The distinct features of every person are so manifest that an onlooker will easily recognize him or her without any hesitation. From a first glance among zillions of people in the world, you can wonder, that's my brother Sari. That is Fatima. There are so many people. That's the greatness of Allah. Who else can claim to give the creatures such marvelous shapes other than Almighty Allah? That is for Allah. A person who makes a picture, painting or a statue of a living creature, whether it's human or animal, is claiming without doubt that he or she too can do the same thing. Allah takes offense. That's an attribute which belongs only to Allah. I spoke about the authentic hadith that forbade such an act. One of them is, إِنَّ الَّذِينَ يَسْمَعُونَ هَذِهِ السُّورَةِ. Verily those who will make and produce these pictures, يُعَذَّبُونَ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ. يُعَذَّبُونَ from Allah, they shall be punished on the day of judgment. يُقَالُ لَهُمْ, it shall be said unto them, إِحْيَوْا مَا خَلَقْتُمْ. Put life into that which you have created. إِحْيَوْا, it's a command. You put life into that which you have created. In Hadith Qudsi we learn, where Allah will say, when you have tried to imitate us, speaking to the photographer, speaking to the one who has produced and made a picture, an image, a statue, when you have tried to imitate us, make the imitation perfect too. Allah says, we did not simply make an image. We have instead, we have invested with His Spirit. We blew into it from our spirit, we gave it life. You put life into that, and the person will be interrogated on the day of judgment, where there will already be so much frustration and agonies. That's the way we want to step up this wrong way. Make it pictures. Make it pictures. Painted. You remember when the angel of revelation came to Prophet Muhammad upon the face and said, read. He thought he could not read. He said, I cannot read. And that was supposed to have been an honor for Prophet Muhammad upon me. He said, I cannot read. What the angel did, squeezed him, pressed him, read in the name of the Lord. He kept on squeezing and pressing him, and eventually he one angel who was sent as an honor to Prophet Muhammad upon him peace. What do you think in terms of plural? Many angels who are in charge of adab and punishment. The angel Jibreel was in charge of mercy and honor. What do you think would be the case when there would be a group of angels assigned to punishment, telling those who have made pictures and images, put life into it? And you know, obviously, they will not be able to put life into that. They will be interrogated. Put life into it. You think they will just be squeezed? That's why the Hadith tells you are the moon. They will be punished severely on the day of judgment. They will never be able to put life into that. But eventually, the only one who can do that is Allah. He will put life into every picture. And each picture will be made to punish the producer on the day of judgment. Find that for yourself in the hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. In hadith al-Qudusi, Allah says, they want to create, فَلْيَخْلَقُوا نَمْرًا. Let them create one ant. They want to paint pictures, they want to make statues. Leave that. Tell them to create and put life in one ant, not an elephant. Create one little chunky, one number, one ant. If it's so much you are fond of creating. Take an ant. Create one kappa. Create one corn seed, an okra seed of sha'ir, one grain of wheat. Allah is challenging the most experienced photographer and maker of picture. You want to make? You make one real grain of barley. Any grain that you grow, you make a grain. If you can't, don't make the pictures. It is prohibited. Allah and Rasul have prohibited that. And for other reasons, like this one, لا تدخلوا النار بيتا فيه كلب ولا سورة. The angels will never enter a home in which there is a dog. I mean a dog running in and out of your home. It doesn't matter what is your name. It doesn't matter where you have come from. You live in a home in which a dog runs in and out. Having a dog tied in the back of the kennel for the purpose of hunting, for the purpose of harassment, security, driving the cattle, that's different. Here we are talking about a home in which a dog is left to run the bed, be on the kitchen, on the cupboard, remain with you, eating and drinking. A home like that, the angels do not enter. These are not my words. These are the words of Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Or a home in which there are pictures of human beings and animals, even though here is one. What you will remember very long ago, when it was a habit to have the pictures of the whole family, everyone hung in the wall. At the time that someone dies, you will notice the elderly ones with their limited knowledge will order to have them turned over, going home. Somebody was dying. They knew that something was wrong with it, but they thought it was only when somebody in the family dies that we must follow the rule. But they knew to some extent something was wrong with it. My brothers and sisters, don't think for a moment that in the time of the Prophet upon peace, the people were not capable of making and producing pictures. It was done way before him, in the time of Hazrat Sulaiman alayhi salatu wasalam. They were capable, if there was one human being whose image and picture really should have been preserved for the world to see, was the most handsome and attractive. The Habib of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, Prophet Muhammad Mustafa sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. He was so handsome that when his appearance dispels darkness, but its picture is not to be found anywhere. But we notice that there are certain scholars, as learned as they are, they produce literatures, they have magazines, you will never see their pictures anywhere. You will never see their pictures everywhere. They have some knowledge, and more than that, they practice upon what they do. For what reason? In magazines, little flyers, cards, invitations, the pictures of so many people who should be learned, propagated pictures, or allowing them to be propagated pictures of themselves. That is completely unacceptable in Islam. When the Prophet ﷺ has made it unlawful, it remains unlawful until the day of judgment. We want in our homes that angels should be present throughout the day and night. We want our homes to be blessed. Imagine, because you have pictures in your home, you have a dog in your home, the angels will refuse to enter, because of which the bliss and radiance is gone, and the ability of the inmates to worship and remain obedient to Allah, it is being reduced. A home in which angels do not enter, it is considered to be vacant. And when angels do not enter, what else will enter but the demons? The devils will occupy your home, whispering to you. And respected gatherers, Shaitan has made a promise, and he is very hardworking. One of his promises, only one, is this: that he will make every evil deed look good. He will decorate Hosein. These were his words. I will decorate and beautify every evil deed. It only looks good, but they will carry a lot of punishments. This is how evil deeds come, along with the web of deceptions and their unending desires and their short-lived gratifications. The way of life it becomes that people keep asking, but what is wrong with this? How many people you will hear saying, what is wrong with the picture? That's just a picture. Shaitan has promised to make it look like nothing. When Allah has prohibited, when His Nabi Muhammad ﷺ has made it prohibited, who has that audacity to say, what is wrong with it? Remember, as I ended, Iblis has been described as a kafir. He became an infidel. It was not because of disobedience. It was because he challenged a divine commandment. Be careful how you whisper. Whether you say that, oh, in a small gathering or a large gathering, what is wrong with that? Nothing is wrong with that. I don't see anything wrong with that. That's very dangerous. Do not defy the divine commandments and the orders of the Prophet upon you, for they all lead to infidelity. We seek refuge from God from such outcome. May Allah bless us all, and may this message make much sense to me and to you, and to everyone who read the verses of the Quran